I keep getting emails and messages from people, so I have to hold my hand up and I have to apologise to those who are pretty much caught in the middle. Actually being like one of my subscribers or someone who watches my videos, you are actually caught in the middle. My actual videos are not usually directed towards my audience. They're directed towards certain individuals. You know, like people write songs about people and we get to hear the hit single and we're like, that's a great song, but there's somebody out in the world that song is like about, or directly targeting the person who has the personal relationship to the person giving the message. Well, that's the case with me, sort of like just trashing everything, because it's all permanent deleted. It's nothing I've ever put up's ever coming back. I don't keep copies of anything. I don't have any backups anywhere. I don't have anything like that. But I've just been sent an email off a chap who actually had a vision of me. He dreamt about me, and he dreamt about me as being a little boy with my head on the keyboard, crying my heart out. And this led to him actually sending me a donation. And you know what? When that came in, I was screwed. That saved my bacon from, you know, all kinds of problems, because it's a matter of the world as is, as like it's blacklisted me. It's likely got something to do with the things I've said in the past, but it also has something to do with like I'm like an out of place artifact in the place that I live. It's like it's a truth of mine that I have to sort of giggle about. That like since the age of 13, I've always been the smartest guy in the room. Everywhere I've ever been, in any room I've ever been in. And it'd be a matter of, I've been sort of kept down and sabotaged, like at every turn. It's like I'm guilty of having been a fool, but there's no greater legitimate victim. You know, we live in a victim sort. There's no greater legitimate victim than me, like real legitimate victim. And it's a matter of the world has done its best to stifle and keep me down, not understanding something rather important about me. And I understand it now, and it's hilarious, and it's terrifying. But it's still funny. Oh my word, is it still funny. So it's a matter of, there's been different phases of what I've been doing on YouTube. For a long time, I was sending out signals, attempting to get the attention of any remnants that still remain of the secret orders, the real ones. And I've been, in essence, demonstrating my power as an oracle for a long time. And then I gave up when I come to realise that there's just none left. Nobody. So then when you realise there's nobody left and you're the only one, you then have to change your approach to try to recreate what once was. So I see it, and I often reach out to people who have these revelations. They're usually, when the ones who get attention are generally famous people who have revelations. Little people like myself who've had revelations, we're just discarded as nobody. And it's a strange old world when GB News bring in a celebrity psychic to tell the future and give that person respect as being someone who has secret powers. And I'm like, You know, the truth of it is that no one is psychic. If you've got any insight, it comes from within. You can't read people's minds. Pattern recognition of people's behaviours, and that's something else, but that's not being psychic, is it? That's learning how to discern, that's learning how to judge. And that in itself is a very, very powerful gift. But it's not psychic power. It's not, I have notions about my gut feelings. It's like if you go with your gut instinct in your decision making, you'll be right 50% of the time. Whereas if you've developed discernment and wisdom, you will always be right. So you've got it right half the time against always right. And the guy's always right, he ain't psychic. And he doesn't have insight either, he has eyes that see, and that is all. So I'm seeing more and more, and I do, with certain people who I do communicate with, I say to them, look to the signs of the world bowing down and giving respect to the psychic. Look for an explosion in people having faith in things like astrology, visiting people who claim to be mediums who can contact the dead. It's like, because it's like they can gain respect and riches. You're about these like powerful people who make big decisions in the world, going visiting mediums and psychics and astrologers. It's like the world of entertainment is full of such grifters. And it's like that one who was on the GB News the other day claiming to be a celebrity psychic. And I just slaps in a comment, it's like, she's a grifter. Nobody in the world's really psychic. There are just those who think they are. And then the responses I get from women claiming to be psychic in all caps. You don't know nothing. How come for thousands of years this has been a thing? It's like, I'm like, you think you're psychic? Well, actually what you've got is personality disorder. You're a magical thinker. You've likely suffered child abuse. You're actually part of the problem. And you thinking that your sort of like imaginary magical thinking is some kind of psychic gift. It's like you're making it worse. You're muddying the water further. It's like you're a broken robot that's been sent out of control to spread chaos and lies in the world. You're actually part of the great commie master plan. It's like those people just do harm. They don't think, oh, well, we'll create a load of psychic people if we abuse a load of kids. It's like, no, you'll create a load of damaged people who can't tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined, because that's what abusing kids does. If you fill a kid's head full of lies, you tell them one thing and show them something different, you create that. There's part of them knows right from wrong, and that goes against what they've been taught and what they know and what's been hammered into them. And then you get this mess come out of their mouths as to where the part of me that knows better's kind of at war with me, and I have to anthropomorphize it. I have to give it names. I have to think of it as basically create imaginary friends and things like that. And it's like, it's amazing how often psychics have the same opinions as the Guardian, claim to have insight but use the words of Barack Obama. And it's like, oh. And in this crazy world, people who mouth off like that, they get respect. Astrologers, mediums, psychics, they get respect. They can charge like £10,000 to put on a party where everyone pretends to be cannibals and the like, right? And those of us that are the opposing force to this, we get absolutely nothing at all. We get called liars, crazy people, charlatans, but at the same time, those who claim to have psychic mystical powers, They tell people what they want to hear. And there ain't a single one of them who's done a single hand's turn to make the world a better place than what it is, have they? It's like these guys who've been huckstering as psychics for years on the internet. I think of guys like David Wilcock. David Wilcock's grift is to crack on he's psychic because he gets gut feelings and intuitions that are never correct. And he'll forever tell you that the aliens or the higher life forms in the galaxy are going to save us tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. It's like that guy's made millions of dollars cracking on he's psychic, and I'm like, nobody's psychic. And how wrong have you proven to be time and time and time and time again? So it's like, on that level, on that playing field of the real and the imagined, I'm actually formidable. Because their shit doesn't work on me. I don't believe any of it. And put to the question, they don't really believe it either. It's not real. But saying that, they are accepted. The demons are accepted. But the angels, they're put in their place by those who would benefit the most from their assistance. And it's hilarious. So I'm a charlatan because I'll tell you that no one in the world is really psychic. I'm a charlatan, but the person who claims to be able to see the future and contact people beyond the grave and all that, like, they're to be respected and protected. That's the great joke of all of it. Those who lie, speak from special revelation, in essence, say things that cannot be unproven. You know, it's like, oh, okay. It's okay for them to continue. But those of us who come along and say, hey, well, that's a great big joke, obviously, while we're all talking shit, we can say anything, can't we? Just say anything. You can't disprove that I'm not the Alpha Omega. So if you're going to be an all-knowing spiritual, psychic, astrology medium, because most of them claim they've got the ability to do all, they also claim that they've got the ability to cast spells on people and wordlessly and without action do people harm from great distance, and that's not real either. But they claim it to be true, and I don't see anyone going after them. But someone like me, who would be warning of those people, speaking from special revelation and saying, well, you know, while we're all just talking crap, they'll come after me. They'll say, this guy's a charlatan, this guy's a dangerous man. And it'll be why, because I'll tell you a word of truth and I'll not believe people who speak from special revelation. It's quite a thing, isn't it? It's like you've got those in the world who come after me for saying things that hurt their feelings, but give people who flat out lie a pass. Or say something like, well, it is what it is, all politicians lie. So it's like, yeah, people who watch my channel are kind of stuck in the middle. The conversation I'm trying to have is those out in the world who would like to save it. Wanting to save the world is a common thing. What do you think those people are doing who are gluing themselves to the road? In their version of the universe, they are trying to save it. But their way of going about it is incorrect because they don't know what it is. They don't know what it is, and they're trying to save it. And they don't know how, so what are they doing? They're deliberately spreading chaos, trying to get a reaction. It's like they've got the same strategy as Roy Keane. on a football field. Give someone a kick in, get a reaction. And it's like, the fine words I keep seeing online. That guy who's been put in prison for gluing himself to the road, and he hadn't thought of when he goes to prison he won't be able to earn any money to pay his rent, and he puts a GoFundMe on looking to raise £700 and he gets 8,000 in a couple of days. Because there are those in the world who'll be saying, oh, well, he's trying to save the world too. It's like, yeah, I'm trying to save the world as well. From them. I'm their opposite number. I'm the guy who can call them out. All I ever ask for, I don't want followers. I'm not a cult leader. I don't want to be that. If I was ever to lead, it'd be by example. And it'd be a matter of, with your help, as confounding and almost ridiculous as you might find me, those you oppose, they'll find me confounding and ridiculous too, and they don't handle being confounded very well at all. And it has always been my proposition. Launch me like a missile into your enemies and let them deal with me. It's like, I've got a plan. And I've had a plan for years. But I can't pull it off on my own. Why, John? Because those who really ought to back me, they're the ones who stand in my way. I'll never get a chance to get at the enemy if I can't get past those who should be my allies. It's like, imagine me up against someone like Lisa Nandy. Imagine me up against someone like Barack Obama. I'm joking now, obviously, but it does stand true. It's like those who can't answer a question or can't handle themselves in any way, shape, or form would have a tremendous problem dealing with me. A tremendous problem. And then they'd make the mistake of saying, who are you? Who do you think you are talking to us like that? And my answer be, I'm an alien from another planet, baby. I am the right hand of God. And when I say it, I know it to be true. Well, I don't care how you out in the world. It's like there's folk in the world who've I've approached and said, I'd like a word with you. I'd like a little one-to-one chat as to where there may be some things that I'm aware of that maybe you aren't, and I'd be more than happy to share as to where I've a better idea than a lot of you fellas of how to do something about all these crazies that we're up against who are unopposed, protected by the law in most regards. It's like, I can cause them headaches that they will struggle to recover from. I can really fuck with them. And it's like, but you won't let me. You won't let me. It's like those who I'd support and assist, they stand in my way. It would be my intention to get it out in the open as that I'm not the only one, and that there are millions of people with an identical mission to mine. And they're all ploughing a lone furrow as we speak. and to come together with an understanding. This situation we've got with the evil and the power of human will wanting to rule the world in chaos, to always win by default. We could have it over and done with by the end of the year. All it takes is for us to come together. And it's strange, isn't it, as to the names of people I'd provide us to say, you need these people. I've been taking names. I've been listening, because that's a lot of what my role is. I'm an observer and a judge. But when the day comes that I decide to, as I call it, deploy, I'm going to need a little bit of help. Just a little. It's like, where would you deploy, John? So I've not decided yet. I've got a few different ideas. Where would you start? Well, that's easy. Start as a myth. And then the myth be made flesh. And the myth be something that makes people go, or ha ha ha, or doesn't really matter. One thing I know for absolute sure is that I will not make it out of here alive. And the price I have to pay is one that I have to sacrifice myself. And it really doesn't matter how it goes down, because my reward is in heaven, not here. Saying that, I still have to pay my rent. This is the thing, I have to pay my rent, I have to feed myself, I have to keep my lights on. And, you know, they won't let me drive a transit van around full of parcels. Why is that? Well, they like to do personality tests on people, IQ tests, tests of English and mathematics and comprehension and the like, and they get my results back and it's like, this guy's got an IQ of 128 and the personality test says that he's like a natural leader. What are you doing here? And it'd be like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you.